All right, welcome to Commission Reviews. We're talking about Queen Sugar. I am behind a day, so it's gonna be all come together like I always do. The last thing we saw was Prosper in the hospital. The board and loan, of course, is always by their side. Okay, Vi tells everybody that Prosper is in a medically induced coma. The doctors are monitoring the swelling on his brain as a result of the sheriff pushing him at Nova's vaccine drive. Prosper's daughter shows up in the hospital and she's pretty upset. She tells the doctor only the blood relative she wants to be one to receive any medical information about Prosper. Aunt Vi gets to, she was like, okay, let's go ahead and go. Outside, Micah is on the phone and he's spooked. Now, if we're all paying attention to Micah is going through some things. I know it's been a few years since everything happened with the police officer, but ever since then, Micah has not been himself. All of a sudden, Hollywood is like, hey, invited him to the real spot. Of course, Charlie is in LA, has no idea what's going on. She's at a restaurant for the people with the Democratic Party. They feel she's able to run for office. They say, hey, Charlie, is there information about your life that we need to know about? She said, nope, we're good. So, at the hospital, Billie comes to Aunt Vi as they wait outside. And, Aunt Vi signed off on some stuff for the Prosper's medical treatment. It's like really thick, the tension between Aunt Vi and Billie. Anyway, the doctor comes out. It was like he's not really reacting really well with the treatment. They want to try something really risky. This causes the fight between Aunt Vi and Billie. This is why she ended up removing the whole family, borderline family, off the list as far as visit, getting information, anything like that. Micah is constantly having like flashbacks about, the little incident the incident he had with the police. He's sitting there and his friend's like, he is just like struggling right now. He's also drinking to numb the pain. Oh my goodness. Aunt Vi ends up telling Nova, look, we're banned from the hospital. Seeing Prosper. Nova and Billie used to be friends in school. She was like, I'll reach out to her. She tries to get a hold of her. All she gets is a voicemail. Okay. All of a sudden, when Liza is trying to talk to Nova, she's noticing some static noise. She thinks her phone is being tapped, her phone line, because the articles that she's putting out against the police. Darla and Ralph Angel find out about the little baby found out they're going to have a little girl, which is really sweet. Aunt Vi is at home and she learns that Hollywood wants to cancel his interview for the real spot. He don't feel like it's really a good time because of Prosper. Aunt Vi was like, Prosper wants you to do it. Okay. Darla and Ralph Angel having this picnic as Darla is eating all the beignets. That's that pregnancy craving, okay? She said she wants to do everything right. This baby supposed to have a baby at home because hospitals are understaffed and struggling because of COVID. She wants to be safe and at home. Okay. So Charlie does finally get to the hospital and she sees Billie. And it's funny when she sees Charlie, she's all like, oh, hey, and giving hugs, and I saw you on TV and all these things. She's finally told her in a nice way that no one is loud and Aunt Vi is stepping over. All this stuff. So anyway, Nova runs into Loretta and Dominique. Now the assumption that Nova has that Dominique and Loretta are together, kind of find out they're siblings, because I can tell they're trying to maybe match up Dominique and Nova. Dominique teaching at Tulane Dominique's teaching at Tulane set up an exhibit. Hollywood shows the Mike around the real spot, includes the war room, where serious talks are really, supposed to be happening, and he wants Micah to exhibit his photos inside the spot. Okay. Now, Aunt Vi has a secret. She goes to the hotel to see Celine. Celine's really worried because her son, this is who she's helping. Understand that Aunt Vi has spoken before of her domestic relationship she had with her ex-husband. Okay. And for that reason, she feels for Celine, who has a little boy and is hiding from her husband. She freaked out because the son tried to text the dad and is so scared that the message went through and the dad's gonna try to find out where they are. Aunt Vi ends up telling her baby the message was never sent because the Wi-Fi is trash in this motel. So Celine pleads and they beg, pleads with Aunt Vi to talk to the son because he's just so wrapped up. He's a kid. He's a child. He wants to talk to his dad. He's not understanding that trying to get a hold of his dad may put his mother in danger, or even him. He's just looking at, I want to talk to my dad. And then once she talks to the little boy, tell him you can't contact your dad. The little boy understands why. They beg Aunt Vi to stay and eat dinner that she brought. She called Hollywood and said, I can't get to the spot, even though it's a grand opening and got the interview, news is there, all this stuff. So Darla is, making her dinner, trying to make it a healthy dinner. And she asked Ralph Angel to go pick up the prescription from the pharmacy. And he just has a rough time seeing Prosper in the hospital. Okay. Charlie is dealing with people calling her, mad about everything, about the drive. So there is an obvious reason. Okay, before we get to Nova and Billie, let's talk about Micah really quick. Micah is now drinking. Every time, if you notice Micah, when he's around anybody, he says it twice. He's paying attention. The first time when he's with, and they're calling him Uncle now, Uncle Hollywood, he made a remark saying, let me have something to drink. And then he was like, if I get me in trouble on Vi. He said it twice. And even when Charlie called Micah, because, she wanted to know, hey, is everything okay? Me and your dad, we're going to have this dinner with the family. To, of course, talk about the fact that they're getting back together, her and Davis. He's like, whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy, Mom. It makes Dad happy, I'm good. I just don't want to see you hurt again. But what they don't know, he's walking around drinking beer. Now, in the country, in Louisiana, that is a thing. I've done it myself. We would go visit from out of town and get down there, and I would have me a cold beer and just be walking in the country. It does happen. But he's doing it because he tries to numb the pain. Even when he goes to school and with his friends, there was a security guard that was running. Something was happening in the cafeteria. He freaked out. Kind of almost fell to his knees. Couldn't catch his breath. He was having a panic attack. Everyone thought, should we call somebody? He was struggling. He is now well. Ever since that happened, he's not gotten over it. Even last year, you saw little small bits where he would just get quiet and not say anything. He's paralyzed with fear whenever he sees anybody with authority, a sheriff, cop, anybody. So Nova ends up talking to Billie, right? And Nova pleads with Billie, please do not shut us out. Aunt Vi and Prosper, they obviously grew up together. I know Prosper and her dad, Prosper and Vi's brother were good friends. And if you grew up together, if you were a sibling, you see your brother and his friends, so you end up being friends. Billie says that Aunt Vi needs to stay in her place. Now everything revolves around the Borderland family. To me, Billie has been jealous of the Borderland family for a long time. She also tells Nova, because of the fact that Nova did make a point saying, look, they're friends. When everything happened with COVID, she said Prosper ended up staying with Aunt Vi. Billie's like, look, I offered for Dad to come stay with me in Chicago, but he didn't want to do it. Okay? She's like, look, I will put y'all back on the list, but please get your auntie and keep her in check. That's like, what auntie? Like, I have aunties like Aunt Vi. I have family. Like, there's no way I'll keep my body in check. The only thing I can do is say, please, auntie, don't, and then probably get yelled at for doing that. Okay, so Aunt Vi, she gets home, and Hollywood's a little bit irritated. And I understand why. Because of the fact that he was not there. Okay? Dominique brings Nova a little food. Loretta, thank you for the pie that she brought. But Nova is completely stressed because there now is a cancel Nova borderline hashtag just because she didn't talk about her past with her relationship with Calvin. Dominique listens, but he also gives her his opinion. All right, Prosper is doing a whole lot better. Ralph Angel goes to the hospital and brings the ultrasound pic of his daughter. Prosper tells Ralph Angel he's going to love his daughter better than Billie was ever loved. They had this hug and it was tears. It was a really nice moment. You don't see that often. Okay, where as far as men are doing that for one. Okay. Davis. Oh, hold on. Well, I'm sorry. This is because I told you I'm behind 2 episodes. Prosper comes home. Of course, he's there greeted by Aunt Vi Hollywood and Nova. And Charlie. And poor little Billie and Charlie are talking because Billie is looking at him like, I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. The boarding loans had his love. And I believe a lot of it is that. Okay. So, Aunt Vi was putting away food. Hollywood comes to ask about this big box that she has. And she was like, don't worry about it. But he's looking at her and seeing her pull money at the register and put it in the box. Ralph Angel doesn't really get good news. The farmers won't make it without the settlements. So, Billie is actually helping, which Nova says don't trust her. So, Charlie, Nova, and Ralph Angel is greeted by the sheriff at the Farmers Association meeting, which I don't know why he was even there. Somebody obviously called at this white meeting to allegedly make sure, and he said, you're having this black meeting, so black people can't meet up now? Is this because it's all black, we can't have a meeting? Interesting. So, Hollywood kind of was standing outside and scares Aunt Vi because she's putting food in the car trying to hurry up, and he's like, oh, okay. He's like, come on. She's like, come on. Takes him to the hotel where he actually meets Celine and Gabriel. Celine is kind of nervous when she sees Hollywood. Celine tells Aunt Vi, her husband abused her and how it got crazy in the pandemic. And she said that Greg crossed the line when he started to put hands on the baby. And she was like, no, it's not going to ever happen. Okay, so Ralph Angel and the black farmer, they speak up about the money. But the white farmers from the country say, the settlements for only black farmers, saying it's not fair. Targeting just black farmers, not the white ones. Because, we always get stuff. It gets kind of crazy when the government says it's going to take 6 weeks before they'll be able to give them a settlement. And Aunt Vi and Hollywood leave the hotel and they argue, with the fact that she didn't tell him what was going on with Selena Gabriel. And then Aunt Vi pretty much said, you are worried about me taking care of other people, but the spot, it's just another way you take care of everybody else, not yourself. So they had a little argument. So Micah is walking by Campbell when he gets a call from Charlie. Well, I was telling you about what he was drinking. And Charlie reminds Micah about the dinner on Vibe with his dad, Davis, and the family. So Micah's kind of quick. Like I say, at that point, I think he was already drunk. He wants to be happy, but he also doesn't want to see her get hurt. She's worried about him with the way he was sounding, but like I said, he was actually drinking. So Nova runs in the neighborhood, and however things are changing when she finds an envelope that has a bullseye drawn on it, she throws in the trash. So people are coming after Nova. Someone broke into her house. I think somebody broke into her house because even though the door was open, the keys were on the table. Somebody went into her house, probably digging, trying to find what's going on. So at the dinner, they're setting everything up. Micah is there with his dad, Davis. Everybody's happy to see Davis because they haven't seen Davis in a long time. And during dinner, Davis apologizes to the entire family, because of how he hurt. Because he was close to the family. We know you get married, the husband is usually, it gets to the point where they become a family. So if the dad or if the husband does anything wrong, the family said that you hurt them as well. The spot is officially open. And so Aunt Vi is dropping off the food and a drink, and she leaves. Ralph Angel, and we meet this guy named Tio. His name was Theo, but they call him Tio. I guess I don't know if it's Puerto Rican or something like that. But and I could tell when he tells Hollywood that he was in prison, Hollywood kind of made it look a face like he didn't really want him there, you know. So during the event, Hollywood gets the men and attendants to try to get everybody to speak up and things like that. And during the event, Hollywood gets the men. Tries to get the men to talk, and then he tries to get Micah to talk, but Micah's like, the only way that I would talk is if you give me some alcohol. Okay. And Dollar and Charlie and Envi are together having their own conversations. And Envi and Charlie, they're talking about everything that happened with Billie. And how Envi brings them that Billie slept with Jimmy Dale while they were married. Nova doesn't really say what happened with them. All she says was that that she had caused some problems for her or whatever. So Ralph Angel and Tio was like, there's a job that involves driving a truck full of stolen computer equipment from Landry Enterprises, and Ralph Angel was like, I don't want to be involved with that. He gives him $100 bill for the baby. So the next day, Darla and Ralph Angel interview a potential doula. But the doula and everything else is a lot of money, and they're saying if they have insurance, they can cover it, but Ralph Angel's not even working, and everything's going down with the Farmers Association. There's no money coming in. So like I was telling you guys earlier, Micah had a panic attack on campus. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. If he's going to ask for help or what. So anyway, Hollywood sees Corinne and Gabriel at the booth. Now, one thing I did notice is when he was sitting with Gabriel, his little boy, he was playing with them, stuff like that. I noticed Envi. I knew it was going to happen because Envi is older and she can't have kids, so she always felt like Hollywood sacrificed that to be with her. So she was looking kind of funny, when he saw him playing with the little boy, and I'm like, he chose to marry her, so she needs to get over that. Really, they can adopt a child if it's all that, really. So anyway, Nova goes over to Prosper to bring some leftovers, and she sees Billy sitting there, and Billy was like, why we don't talk about anything? And apparently Billy outed Nova to her dad. Nova was like, she's still mad about it, but she said, what you don't know is that Jimmy Dale, I was a young girl and he's 30-something years old. You think I voluntarily want to be with him? So obviously she was assaulted by him. And that's where it ended. So this whole entire time, like in the country, as they always do, they don't reveal stuff, they hide stuff. That's something I cannot stand. A lot of times families don't want to reveal this. Don't say nothing, don't do that. I'm the kind of person that's like, look, don't tell me, I don't be around it. Because I like it to be open. I can't, that's that old school Louisiana, shh, don't say nothing. I have never liked that. I'm a very open person. I confront things with the way it is, bad or good, and deal with repercussions later on. Now see, this is 30-something years, probably more than 30-something years later, and this whole entire time Nova and her were friends, but they stopped being friends because on her way out to leave, Billy went to her dad and was like, this is what your daughter did, and all that stemmed from the fact that she was mad because Prosper didn't believe her, which is really a trip to me that Prosper did not believe her when she said that Jimmy Dale had did what he did. But this is back in the time period where he would not believe that Jimmy Dale would do something like that. Anyway, that's a summary of both episodes of Queen Sugar, and y'all leave your comment below and let me know what you guys think about this latest episode.